This is KHQA Overtime with Chris Dewar. Brought to you by Con Communications. This is KHQA. It's your news now.
And this is Saturday, November the 23rd, and you have entered overtime, where it is with both lament and a little bit of jealousy that I looked around at my professional brethren in other cities in Illinois and Missouri today who still had high school football playoffs to cover. This Saturday, in that sense, felt just a little bit more empty than usual. No matter, though, we make the most of the opportunities we are given. And with the holiday season officially upon us on Monday, the theme, appropriately enough for today in local sports, was a welcoming of visitors. To wit, it isn't very often that ESPN sets up shop right here in the tri-states, but production trucks rolled into Jacksonville, Illinois this morning to give the world a look at the most famous Division III basketball player on the entire planet. That is Grinnell's Jack Taylor, who has single-game scoring outputs of 109 points last year and 138 points just himself this season. Perhaps the homestanding Illinois College Blue Boys would slow his roll. We take you to the Bruner Center, which was packed up today. Students showing out and doing their best to get on TV. What does a guy who looks like he can score triple figures look like? That's Jack Taylor right there. Little nondescript early on with a three, but at the other end, Chris Mars scores as Grinnell fails to defend at the other end of the floor. Here's Taylor again. Tell you what, Grinnell willing to trade threes for twos, and they would do so early. But you know what? Big lead early for Illinois College. It starts with Blake Stelsreed with a long three right there. Then Zeke Light creating and would find Chris Mars yet again. Beautiful stuff on that dish. More from Zeke Light as well. Little transition three action as the Blue Boys would build as much as a 13-point lead in the first half. They're killing it. Nathan Kohler doing some work as well from the perimeter. And it was Illinois College beating Grinnell at its own game. But there's Jack Taylor, and he was about to go nuts in this game. Only had 8 points to this point. Here comes Taylor. Great ability to separate. Great ability to knock down the long jumper. Taylor not done yet. This kid, I tell you what, probably worth the hype because he can just flat stroke the rock as his team comes all the way back from a huge deficit. Brandon Berry, though, with the answer in this one. He had 33 points as Illinois College would build a 62-61 lead at the half. Taylor, though, finishes with 30 points, well off of his average, well off of 100, but good enough to get Grinnell the victory. As you saw, Grinnell wins. Final count in that one was big tonight. Final count was 132 to 126. Meanwhile, at Quincy University, it would be a visit from our good buddy John Gillum, the former Paris star, Central Missouri undefeated, taking on Quincy University. The Hawks off to the good start. First it was Scott Hahn, and then Austin Weber, who had back-to-back buckets. This one with a Band-Aid to give the Hawks the early lead. Jamil Jones then creating on the inside for Evan McGaffey, the pride of Illini West, with a nice take right here. But the Mules would answer back. This was the only shot in the first half by John Gillum. It was a three-pointer. The Mules go up 16-14 at that point. More to come in this one. Austin Weber with a miss. Chris Babbitt, though, cleaning up nicely on the offensive glass right here. A rebound and a 2 to go at that point. More to have some fun right here. How about this nifty bucket by Mr. Babbitt again? Great contact, great connection for him as he completes the three-point play. The Hawks fighting to get back into this one in the first half. They're down 6 at this point. Herman Senor with a great take right there from the freshman. Then it's Scott Hahn doing work as well. And then more from Evan McGaffey, who was big off the bench in the first half. As the Hawks go to work, the big fella off the great feed gets one off the glass and then off his own miss. Here's Evan again, and this is pretty. Mr. McGaffey with the big flush jam, the big right hand. Hawks took Central Missouri State all the way down to the wire. Unfortunately, Quincy University ends up losing that one. Final count 79-78 would be how it ends up tonight. So the Hawks fall to 2-4 on the season. More for you today. Culver Stockton's offense, number 18 in the country, struggling on the road at Hannibal LaGrange in a rematch from a game earlier this month. Tell you what, HLG played some good defense, played hard. Culver Stockton just good enough to get it done today. They get the victory on the road, 59-53. Also, the John Wood Trailblazers on the men's side falling to Rock Valley today, 88-85 was your final. How about Western Illinois at home today? The women hosting Cheryl Swoops and Loyola Chicago. The legendary Cheryl Swoops doing a nice job coaching her team up today. Early on in this one, Marley Hall gets the nice lay-in there. The pride of West Hancock with a nice take from Paige Harmon. Loyola, though, doing work from the outside. Kate Fott right there. Katie Fott knocking down a triple. Marley Hall, though, would answer in kind from the outside. Warsaw's finest with a 3 right there. Tori Neiman have a day as well, as the Leathernecks would ride the locals and ride them well today. Neiman with a great lay-in right here, and then Tori Neiman doing some more work right here. Driving in, nifty move from her, the spin and the kiss off glass. Still Loyola by 15 at the half. 47-32. Loyola looking for more. Taylor Johnson would provide. She had 31 points on the day. Neiman, though, just kept answering. More bucket and Band-Aid action right here from Tori, who had a team-high 19 points on the day. Tori also distributing as well. Inside to Marley Hall, who gets the bucket right here. Tell you what, Western fought hard down the stretch to make this a really good game. Loyola Chicago had too much down the stretch, though, to put it away. They end up winning by 10, handing Western Illinois a loss on its home court. Final count in this one was 89-79 in favor of Loyola Chicago. Also today, Quincy University trying to win its own tournament, taking on Northwoods. Jenny Garber's Lady Hawks looking to close things out in the QU Subway tip-off tournament on an impressive note, and an impressive start in this one from Felicia Loggins, exposing all kinds of soft spots in Northwood's half-court defense. More to come right here. How about this? Maggie Cunningham the miss, but there's Kara Gerbis cleaning up nicely as well. Tell you what, Quincy University cleaning up on the offensive glass numerous occasions in this first half. More to come in this one as eventually it's Felicia Loggins again. Pretty stuff from her. The up and under spin move somehow gets that to go. Cleaning up on the connection right there. More to come from the Lady Hawks. Maggie Cunningham with the burglary and the bucket at the other end. Quincy University up 7 at this point, looking for more. Nice to see this young lady, Tori Kuhn, looking back in Quincy High, Quincy Notre Dame form right there. She knocks down that jumper. Also looking really good of late, Carly Beebe, the pride of South Fulton, with the spin move as well. Quincy University up at this point, unfortunately for them in the first half, a 17-1 run in favor of Northwoods slides the abacus back in the direction of Northwoods at that point. Hannah Weidman, though, having none of it, showing the full range of her game, slipping the defense on numerous occasions in this one, and also showing the long-range game as Quincy University gets the victory, 74-63, to clean up the big trophy today. Congratulations to Jenny Garber and the Lady Hawks on getting it done. As you see, Quincy University finishing their own tournament on a very strong note. Also today in women's college basketball, it was Illinois College beating Grinnell 72-58. Kelly Lonergan, the pride of Jacksonville route, with 12 points in that ball game. HLG no match for Grandview today, losing by the final count of 59-50. And the John Wood women lose to the #1 team in Division III JUCO basketball. That would be Rock Valley Community College, 83-67. Amanda Scott had 17 points in a losing cause for the Blazers on the day. Well, the high school basketball onslaught begins for us Monday with all manner of turkey tournament fun on both sides of the river. And in order to give you a frame of reference for the Winter Games, we've unveiled right now our annual KHQA basketball power poll. Holding down the top spot, pole position if you will, a team that came within a whisker of the Final Four last March, a squad whose competitive fires have been stoked and intensified by the pain of a loss to Madison at the Jacksonville Bowl.
That loss, it definitely motivates us, it shows us what we need to work on, for next season and, those kind of games. Just execution and finishing out the game.
We've just worked on mental toughness. I think mental toughness is a huge thing for high school athletes, and the more mentally tough we can be and the tougher situations we can put them in practice and over the summer, it allows us to, better ourselves for those game situations.
If those hearts and minds are right, Payson Seymour has all the ingredients to be incredibly special this winter. It starts with 7 returning rotation players, 4 full or part-time starters, and 1 consensus Player of the Year candidate in Cody Hildebrandt. To that, Brian Ray gets to add key ingredients from what was one of the finest 8th grade teams in the state back in 2011. Suffice it to say, the bullseye on the Indians will be huge.
It's enjoyable to have expectations, not just sneaking up on people, gain some respect around the area and around the state that these kids have earned and deserve. And I think it also helps us play with more effort and more passion because we know that everybody's going to give us their best game.
That's definitely one good thing about this team is we have a lot of different, weapons and threats on the floor that'll help me, and get the floor more open for me to get to the basket.
And it certainly doesn't hurt that this group has played a virtual all-star circuit over the course of the summer.
It helps us gauge where we're at. It also allows us to play extremely difficult competition, so if we get into a situation where we're playing a great team, it's nothing new for us athleticism-wise, speed-wise, or talent-wise. We've seen it in the summer, so it helps us prepare for the season.
For better or for worse, and given all that is in play, there's a certain sense about this Payson Seymour team that it's either Peoria or bust. But for his part, Brian Ray is trying to mitigate that kind of talk internally.
My mindset, I think, is I'm trying not to put it in their mind as the mindset. I want it to be one of their goals, but I also want them to know that there's a lot of things that go into getting there. Health, the way the ball bounces, foul trouble in certain games. If you're on one night, if you're off, anything could happen. And I just want them to play and enjoy the process, because this is a group that I've been with for a long time. We've done a lot together, and I want them to enjoy it and not look for the end of the season, because it's going to come real quick. I want them to enjoy every step of the way and keep getting better, but we're really gearing to every practice to play at a championship level and to not worry about who we're playing, but how we're playing. And if we can do that, the sky's the limit for them. But at the same time, if we get big heads and act like it's something that we're owed, we're going to falter. So hopefully they stay hungry and humble and possibly reach that level.
Payson Seymour is your de facto #1. What does the rest of the top 10 look like? I don't think it's a big surprise that Canton and Palmyra, respectively, are held in very high regard. Both teams with great sets of guards, all state-level guards. #4 might surprise you a little bit, unless you've forgotten just how good Lane Davis is in the middle for Unity. If the Mustangs are healthy, and remember, we rank these teams relative to what we think their chances are against their schedule to maybe make it all the way to a state Final Four in their respective class. So I think Unity in Class 1A is a team that's very, very scary. Obviously, we like Fort Madison an awful lot. One of the best guards in the entire area, if not one of the best players, and Miles Wenzine leads the Bloodhounds, who probably will be Southeast Iowa's finest team this season, although they may have some competition. You look at that next level, we've got Pittsfield rated very highly. Word is that Brad Tomhave may open up the offense a little bit to take advantage of the skills of Wade Smith, his outstanding guard. That should be fun to watch. Another team we really like, I know they graduated some, but Marion County has a nice nucleus back, and it's a team that can flat out shoot the three. Maybe our answer to the Golden State Warriors in the area. ELSBERRY has just an amazing big, obviously, in Kenny Leslie, who nearly averaged a triple-double, so that's a team to look out for. I like Liberty with an experienced guard back. Obviously, Liberty is a team that has lots of good guys on the wing as well. So you take a look at the Liberty Eagles and the team that Andy Douglas brings back. A lot of experience, a lot of savvy, a lot of guys who can score. The big question about Liberty coming back, what will they look like in the post? But if they can get that done, a team that might really be pretty good. Obviously, when you take a look at Michael Blewett and company there. The rest of the top 12, as you can see, Knox County, Holy Trinity, teams with very talented players. Obviously, Knox County returns Royce Poor, who's very good. A lot of sleeper candidates out there. Team I kind of like that nobody's talked an awful lot about, Louisiana, which has really good bigs inside, but you can't discount West Hancock. I know Reno Pinkston lost a lot in terms of talent, but his teams are always good. Griggsville, Perry, North Shelby, Keokuk, Quincy High, teams that I think may be a little better than are getting evaluated. And don't sleep on Quincy Notre Dame, which I thought looked fairly good in their scrimmage last night. So lots out there as we open the week. We'll know a lot more, and I'll either look really smart or really stupid on a lot of different fronts. And we're just getting started here on the Big Overtime Show. Plenty to talk about, including a star turn today in the Big Ten on the football diamond for one of Quincy's homegrown finest.
You're watching KHQA Overtime with Chris Dewar. Brought to you by Con Communications.
And welcome back to Overtime, everybody. Until somebody proves differently, the three-time defending state champion Quincy Notre Dame Lady Raiders remain for us the bellwether for girls basketball in our area. Despite considerable graduation losses, Eric Orn opted to throw his team into the deep end of the pool to start the season at the Geneseo tournament. Today, taking on Orion, one of two today. They have Chicago Marshall later in the day. Quincy Notre Dame taking care of business no matter who was on tap. Kristen Gengenbacher with a nice take right here, driving for the two, and things wouldn't get any prettier for Orion at any point. Quinna Keating doing some larceny and some layup work at the other end. Good stuff from her. And how about some Mary Beth Hugenberg, who was named the MVP of this entire tournament. Great shot for her with the open jumper in the lane. Still in the first half, more of Kristen Gengenbacher. Nice take off the bounce pass over to Miss Hugenberg. 43-21 QND at that point. More to come. Sarah Arnold finishing up nicely. QND led 54-31 at the half. Second half, more of Quinna Keating, this time to Erica Obert, knocking down the open jumper. Hugenberg over to Miss Gengenbacher for the open three, and then more from Miss Gengenbacher again. The nice drive for Kristen as well. 85-57, QND leads no doubt, winning the opener big time in that one, and then on the nightcap, blowing out a really highly regarded Chicago Marshall team. 58-38 was your final there. So Quincy Notre Dame now 57 straight victories, which brings us tonight to the return of our Seeds of Greatness, our focus on the younger set or the future stars of Tri-State sports. And QND is looking to continue its dynasty with a freshman playing a very significant role in that mix. So far, Mackenzie Foley has played beyond her years and been a really nice linchpin in a number of roles in this hot start for the Lady Raiders.
Seeds of Greatness brought to you by Burris Hybrids.
We have two games today, so we wanted to come up here and obviously take on Orion and put ourselves in the championship game. I thought we did a nice job offensively, got off to a good start, scored 53 points in the first half. The big part of that is Mackenzie Foley. She did a nice job as our sixth man coming off the bench. She can score, she can dish the ball. She's really matured for a freshman and being thrown into this situation early in the season.
Overall, we did really good offensively. Like that was probably our best time. Playing against the zone. I think we need to step it up defensively. We need to do a lot better there, but I think going against zones early in the season will help us later on in the season. We've
got to have a lot of depth, and we're going to rely on guards this year simply because we're not that big. So her ability to come off, and even when we go to four guard sets, just gives us another option and hopefully be successful.
This year we're a lot different, and we need more players because we don't have just one or two stars. So I think it helps a lot to have a lot of bench. And I think subbing will really be the key this year, to have a lot of bench.
I think she had some nerves the first game we have here on Monday, but I think after that she's settled down and she's really relaxing and really kind of just feeling the part right now.
I get a little nervous, but I like playing against better and older competition because in the end it just makes me a better player.
Keep those nominations coming. Let's take you now to the Lady Bombers Classic. Afternoon action, Macomb versus West Prairie. Jason Kilburn's team trying to slow the roll of the Lady Bombers, not working. Kayla Vestal, nice take there off the feed from Yanni Sadler. Then Miss Sadler does it on her own, and all of a sudden Macomb up 8 at this point. They're not done. Miss Yanni going back to feeding the post. This time it's Kayla Mabry who comes up with a nice bucket as well. Macomb's lead extends to 12. The Cyclones would answer. Jen Schwerer from the top of the key knocks down the 3. But Sydney Hare and the Lady Bombers going to answer in kind. The three-pointers would start falling for Zach Keene's team, and they would not stop. Sydney Hare doing some work from the perimeter right in front of you and right out of your Barca Lounger. Then it's Skylar Mueller open on the wing as well. Same spot as Miss Hare. That was apparently the great spot to be shooting threes because everything was falling. In fact, Sydney Hare doing it from the other side as well. Who am I kidding? They were all good spots at this point for Macomb as they just kept knocking down jumpers. Look at this great pass here as well from Yanni Sadler, who's looked really good at the point guard position first couple of games, hooking up with Kayla Mabry. All Macomb all the time in this one as the Lady Bombers win. Final count in this one was 81-30. Yanni Sadler with 22 points to lead the way. Macomb plays its way into the championship game tonight against Havana, but ends up losing that game by the final count of 62-46. Let's take you to the Pike County Traveling Tournament today. It is Liberty taking on Payson, teams that were formerly united, now enemies, forced to square off. Dojo versus Dojo. Early on in this one, great stuff from this young lady, Madeline Heyer. She's a force to be reckoned with. Weak side rebound, easy pickings for her. And Liberty was about to go on a furious run in this game. I mentioned Miss Heyer. She can do it all. She just clicks into point guard role here. She's a post, but she can do that as well. Easy take, no one stopping her. Why not knock down the jumper, which she would too. How about some more defense this time? Hope Rush with the great grab right here, the larceny and the layup at the other end. It is a 13-point lead for the Liberty Lady Eagles at this point. Payson trying to get anything going. First year as a program, showing some nice signs right here. The miss right there by Emily Mass, but Addie Ippenson is there to throw one in the well. Too much Michaela Leapley and company in this one, though. Liberty wins in a blowout fashion. 63-10, your final as Miss Leapley completes the jumper right there. Earlier in the day, Griggsville Perry trying to get some momentum built for the season, taking on Brussels in a very winnable game. Great shot right here for Kayla Smith, who makes the whirling dervish move and makes it look stylish. More to come in this one off the inbounds pass. Allison Bingen knocking down a jumper as well. Tornadoes hanging around from start to finish of this game, trying desperately to get the hard-earned win. How about some Frankie Craven right here with a jumper as well? Unfortunately, Griggsville Perry could never quite get over the top. They end up losing to Brussels in this one by the final count of 48-40. Some scores to pass along on the day. Illini West playing as good a basketball as anybody in our area to start the season. Another big win today in Galesburg over Metamora, 66-26. Elise Trout with 14 points in that one. Rushville Industry with a quality win today as well. Double-double from Riley Plummer in beating Springfield Lutheran, 64-45. Quincy High School today ends up losing a pair. One to Chatham Glenwood by the score of 57-29. Also later in the day, 60-24, they lose to O'Fallon. Reagan Wellman had 7 points in that loss as well. And we'll have more overtime for you coming up after this. And away we go. Your November nomination number 3 for Con Communication Connection Honors goes to this young lady, our first of many, we hope, basketball highlights. Sydney Rock from West Central at the end of the first quarter against Brown County. Presence of mind to free herself and knock down the very long jumper and use the backboard to her advantage Sydney Rock, your latest nominee, and if she is your favorite, at the end of this month, you can go to connecttristates.com and vote for her. She has worthy competition, though, as we showed you a couple of good pass catchers from the last couple of weeks. Macon's Josh Turner and Case Doyle out of Palmyra, going to be very difficult to beat. But congratulations to all. A couple more nominations coming your way very soon. Let's talk a little football on the day. Western Illinois ends its season with a loss on the road today at the Unidome, 28-13. Nathan Knuffman, though, with a pair of field goals in a losing cause for the Leathernecks, who end their season with just 4 victories. Better news right here. Quincy Notre Dame's own Patrick Smith with a game-winning field goal today for Nebraska as they beat Penn State at the buzzer, 23-20. Our congratulations to one of Quincy Notre Dame's finest today as he shows out and plays the hero role at the kicker position. Also today, Mizzou taking care of business, beating Ole Miss on the road, 24-10. If Mizzou can beat Texas A&M at home next weekend, Mizzou is going to the big dance, or at least the big SEC dance, for a championship showdown with either Alabama or Auburn. Hey, for the first time in 770 days, Illinois has won a conference football game, beating Purdue on the road at West Lafayette, 20-16 your final there, and a nice comeback win today for the University of Iowa, which beats Michigan 24-21. And we'll have more overtime for you coming up after this. Okay, we will do it.